They called it justice. The Galactic Council assembled in the orbiting citadel of Val Torin, a silver ring world of light and law. The chamber was filled with representatives of 1,000 species, scaled, feathered, silicon, and gasborn. They had gathered to deliver a verdict against a species that had, in their words, grown too violent for the harmony of the stars. Humanity. The charge? The destruction of an illegal mining fleet that had trespassed into Terran Protectorate space. Slavers, pirates, and mercenaries hiding beneath the Council's banner. The humans had issued warnings. The aliens ignored them. The result was a graveyard of ships and shattered egos. So the Council decided to make an example. From the speaker's dais, the High Arbiter of the Council, an ancient being known as Vakal, spoke with that cold, resonant tone that dripped with arrogance. Humanity's aggression cannot go unanswered. For their crimes we decree the dissolution of Earth's sovereignty. The fleets of the Council shall occupy their worlds and dismantle their armaments. They will surrender their colonies, their weapons, and their pride. Across the chamber, a human envoy stood silent. Ambassador Imani Rao, alone, surrounded by predators cloaked in law. Her face did not flinch, though every word was a knife. And if Earth refuses? She asked softly. A ripple of mocking laughter spread across the hall. Vakal's tendrils coiled in disdain. Then Earth will burn. And so it did. Hours later, the Council's fleets descended on Vega Prime, the jewel of the Terran colonies, a planet of 20 million souls. They came not to negotiate, but to punish. Plasma lances fell from orbit, slicing through cities, oceans boiling, continents aflame. The bombardment lasted 7 hours. When it ended, Vega Prime was a smoking scar, a monument to the Council's mercy. They broadcast the destruction live across the galactic network, to teach a lesson, to make the humans bow. 2. The mockery of victory. For weeks afterward, the galaxy celebrated. Council newscasts ran endless reels of Vega Prime's burning skyline. Propaganda hosts sneered about the violent apes who dared challenge civilization. Merchants sold trinkets made from the melted metals of human cities. Children on distant worlds played with toy warships labeled Council Peacekeeper versus Terran Barbarian. In the grand corridors of Val Torin, delegates toasted victory. The lesson of Vega was hailed as a turning point, a symbol that the Council's word was law, and that mercy, as they defined it, was the restraint not to wipe humanity entirely from existence. Vakal himself declared before his peers, "We have shown the primitives the cost of defiance. They will kneel, or they will fade." Reports came in that Earth had fallen silent. No response, no transmissions, no threats. The silence was comforting, typical of lesser species. One senator of the Sarn Dominion mused. "Break their teeth once and they never bite again." Another, from the Trithian hive, hissed agreement. "Their silence is surrender." They did not understand. Because on Earth, beneath the quiet, machines were stirring. The calm before vengeance, the silence was not surrender. It was mourning. It was unity. It was the sound of a predator drawing breath before the strike. Across the Sol system, the Terran Federation activated Protocol Black Sun. Every shipyard, every orbital ring, every industrial forge went dark to outside sensors. Communications ceased. Freight routes vanished. The humans sealed themselves away from the galaxy that mocked them. At first, the Council mistook this for collapse. Then the probes stopped, returning. Then the outpost near Sol went silent. Then the trade convoys began disappearing in the dark. An uneasy whisper spread among the Council worlds. Something was happening in the dark between stars. Something vast, deliberate, and cold. When a lone smuggler stumbled upon the edge of the Sol defense perimeter, he transmitted one message before his ship was vaporized by a beam that left no debris. No echo, no trace. They've built something. A wall of guns. The system is a fortress. Still the Council laughed. "Let them hide," Vakal sneered. "They cannot fight the galaxy." But then, a year later, came the signal. From every relay, every comnet, every channel, a voice, human, calm, unmistakable. "This is the Terran Federation. We acknowledge your declaration of war. We have concluded our mourning. Judgment is coming." And then silence again. The Council dismissed it as bluster until their frontier colonies began disappearing. The silence breaks. The first strike was against the Drexen fleet, stationed at the edge of the Orion Spur. 200 ships, guarding a resource world. They detected a disturbance, mass shadows emerging from slipspace. Then their sensors went blind. When they regained vision, the sky was filled with ships. Black hulls without markings, angular and vast. Human ships, but different. Their heat signatures were minimal, their power readings impossible. The Drexen commander opened a channel, shouting, "Identify yourselves!" The answer came not in words, but in light. Kinetic lances pierced the fleet. Missiles with singularity cores tore through dreadnoughts. The human fleet moved like a storm. Precise, coordinated, merciless. Within 13 minutes, the entire Drexen armada was gone. The planet below, reduced to molten glass. The survivors who escaped transmitted a single phrase before their distress call cut off. "The Earthborn have come." From there, the storm spread. Every council world that had voted for the extermination of Vega Prime found itself under siege. The humans didn't conquer, they erased. Orbital stations were vaporized from beyond visual range. Shipyards went silent. Communications relays collapsed. When the council tried to rally their combined fleets, they found their logistics networks disrupted. Supply lines cut, their encrypted channels hijacked by human AIs that whispered back their own messages. Mercy was asked. Wrath was chosen. The armies of Earth. The galaxy had never seen fleets like these. Human ships no longer bore names like Enterprise or Dauntless. They bore verdicts: Retribution, Nemesis, Vigil, Oblivion. Each was a moving citadel of vengeance, powered by fusion arrays and dark matter cores. Their carriers released drones that thought, learned, and killed without command. Their ground troops, exosuits forged of neutron steel, soldiers encased in walking thunder, descended onto council worlds through firestorms. Every drop pod carried the same symbol burned into its hull, a blue sphere wreathed in flame, Earth. The soldiers did not speak to their enemies. They did not broadcast demands. They simply executed their mission: destroy military targets, dismantle war industries, leave civilians to witness. One by one, the council's bastions fell. Vakal himself watched from the high spire of Valtorin as reports poured in. The Sarn Dominion, extinct. The Trithian hives, scoured. The Drexen Ascendancy, ashes. World after world, gone. He called an emergency session of the council. The chamber that once echoed with arrogance now trembled with fear. "They cannot destroy us all," Vakal roared. "We are the galaxy!" But even as he spoke, the lights flickered. A transmission cut through every comm line. The image of a human admiral appeared, a figure of steel and silence. Her eyes were hard as frozen suns. "You wanted mercy," she said, her voice cold and steady. "You took it from us when you burned Vega. Now you will understand the cost." Behind her, a fleet hung in orbit. So many ships that they eclipsed the light of a nearby star. "This is the final judgment of the Terran Federation. Valtorin stands condemned," the council screamed, begged, pleaded. But humanity had no words left. The fleet fired. For hours, the ring world burned. Its elegant structure folded in on itself, breaking like glass under cosmic hammers. The shockwave rippled through the void. A civilization's capital turned to dust, its arrogance to silence. The weight of wrath. When it was done, the human fleets withdrew. They did not occupy. They did not enslave. They simply left ruin behind, a lesson carved in fire across the stars. From the ashes of the council, survivors scattered. Pirates, refugees, scavengers. They told stories, whispered through half-broken comms and abandoned corridors. The humans don't conquer. They judge. They came in silence and left only graves. They do not forgive. They do not forget. Some claim to have seen the Earth fleets passing beyond the galactic rim, heading into the black where no stars shone. Others said they remained, unseen, watching, waiting for another spark of arrogance to ignite their fury once more. Among the ruins of Valtorin, a single beacon still pulsed, a recording preserved amid the debris. It bore the voice of Ambassador Imani Rao, made years before her execution at the Council's hands. "We asked for peace. You offered submission. We asked for dialogue. You gave us silence. We asked for mercy. You sent fire. Now you will learn. Earth remembers." 7th. The aftermath. Decades later, when the stars began to quiet and trade routes reopened, new civilizations rose from the remnants of the old. None dared approach Sol. The region around Earth became a void in the maps, a scar the galaxy would not touch. The few who ventured close described it as hauntingly empty, save for a whispering hum of distant defenses, ever watchful. In the archives of the reborn galactic Concord, the story of Vega Prime and the wrath of Earth was recorded not as history, but as scripture, a warning. Children were taught the verse. The Council wanted mercy, but met Earth's wrath, and the elders would add, in hushed tones, if ever again the stars forget, if arrogance returns, so will they. No one dared to test the truth of it, for even after centuries of silence, every species knew one immutable fact: humanity's patience is infinite, but their vengeance is eternal.